What's going on, everyone? It's the Halfback here, and welcome back to another episode of Rising Above Adversity AFC Bournemouth. And in this episode, I will be covering the first leg of our Europa League first knockout round tie against Dnipro. If you remember, we finished top of our Europa League group, incredibly ahead of AC Milan, who we actually beat as well in one of our group games at home. But of course, what I'll need to do is get you guys up to scratch where we've been since the last live com. Of course, that was the Capital One Cup semi-final against Southampton. I don't want to talk about that anymore, to be honest. If you want to see the episode, if you did miss that, I'll put a link in the description, as I always do in these episodes. You can go and check that one out. But moving on from that, we took another battering actually against Manchester United this time. They were actually 4-0 up within 20 minutes, and I was kind of wondering if they was going to set a Premier League record for scoreline. But thankfully we managed to tighten up the defence. Will Keane actually bagged the goal early on in the second half, but it was just a consolation. But this result after that one, 2-1 away at Anfield against Liverpool. Now I'll show you the stats from the game. It was a smash and grab. You can see it there. Liverpool had 28 shots. They dominated position. We had 3, and it was just penalties galore. You can see we got a penalty, then they had a penalty, then we got another penalty. It was just a crazy game, and one that we managed to pick up 3 points from some fantastic performance in there. The likes of Andrew Sermon, Will Keane there, just amazing result to win at Anfield. And as a Manchester United fan, that was really pleasing, as we kind of ended their slim hopes of winning the title this season. But the last two results have been slightly disappointing. West Brom at home, we lost 3-0, and we drew 1-1 away at Hull. If I show you the league table, I'll explain kind of why I was disappointed by those results. If it wants to load, my laptop is actually terrible. Here we go. So we're currently in 13th. You can see West Brom are level on points with us. We've got a slightly better goal difference than them. So to lose at home to them 3-0 was very frustrating. And of course we drew 1-1 against Hull, who are currently 16th in the Premier League. So, you know, if we could have got a win at least in one of those, we could have kind of started to drift away from the relegation pack. You can see we've got 11 games left to play in the league. Just 9 points clear of safety, so we're not safe yet. There's a lot of work to be done. But focus is today on the Europa League, and let me show you my team sheet for today's game in this Europa League game. Of course, you know, it's going to be a difficult task. Dnipro are a very good side. Obviously, the Ukrainians were in the Europa League final in real life this season. But I've gone a little bit more, you could say, defensive, I suppose, for this one. Slightly more cautious, I would definitely say. Of course, we're away in the first leg. So I've gone with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Been playing 4-4-2 of late in the league. But obviously for an away European tie, I kind of want to be, as I said, a little bit more cautious. But we've got Artur Buric in goal. We've got a back four of Simon Francis, Thomas Callas, Danny Wilson and Sean Kavanagh, Andrew Sermon and Ole Christian in central midfield, looking for them to really kind of sit deep and sit deep in the midfield and protect that back four. We've got Riviere on the right wing, Will Keane as a shadow striker. It's a little bit deeper role for him. He's obviously not natural there, but he can kind of fulfill that role. Matt Ritchie on the left wing and Callum Wilson up front. I feel like Riviere and Matt Ritchie will be key for us today on the wings. Of course, their kind of pace, especially Riviere, who's incredibly fast, will be helpful for us if we can play on the counter attack. You can see I've got counter setup mentality there. They will be a real outlet for us on the wings. I'll be looking to use them. But obviously, in this first tie, away from home, an away goal would be excellent. I know it's going to be a difficult task in this one. We were actually only expected to get to the group stages of the Europa League. That's what the board wanted from us. Obviously, we've far exceeded those expectations, and we currently find ourselves in the knockout rounds. And my laptop is going so slow, that's why I keep on talking. But obviously, I keep saying obviously. I need to stop saying obviously. I've noticed in my videos that I say obviously an incredible amount. I'm going to try and stop that. because it actually annoys me when I watch back the videos. But looking at this Dnipro team, I'm going to be honest, not too many names I'm familiar with. Obviously, Kalinic is someone who played in the Premier League with Blackburn, was it? Yeah, I think it was Blackburn. But other than that, I can't recognise really any names from that Dnipro team. And I'm not sure how they're doing really in the game. I don't have the Ukrainian league loaded. But as I said, hopeful that we can kind of get an away goal in this one to take back to the goal stand. The next tie is not too far away actually. We only play one league game in between that against Chelsea at home. But I'm going with my full strength team. This is an important game. If we can get to the... I think there's another knockout round. I'm actually not sure of the structure. And it looks like it's snowing in Ukraine. So it'll be interesting to see how we handle these conditions. Obviously the central midfielder Ole Christian might be used to those kind of conditions coming from Scandinavia. But early on in the game, just 10 minutes gone, Dnipro, as you kind of would expect, dominating the early stages of the game. 4 shots, dominating possession. We haven't got into it just yet. No shots at all after 25 minutes, but we look like we are starting to make inroads in the game. No highlights of yet, and half time is coming very quickly. Just 10 minutes left. Possibly an attack here for Dnipro. Ball is whipped in. Galvan to Luis Antonio Rotan. Kalinic with the shot, and it hits the post. Kalas manages to clear it, but there are the danger signs from Dnipro. But so far so good, you know. We've restricted them kind of to limited opportunities in terms of clear-cut chances. Riviere picks up a knock, which is not great. We'll leave him on for a little bit, see how he does early on in the second half. But 0-0 at half-time, good start. We can pick up, again, as I said, I would really love us to pick up a goal. 0-0 wouldn't be the worst result, but it would leave us, it would be dangerous for us to go back with a 0-0, I think, obviously, if Dnipro get an away goal in the second leg. But so far, so good. Let's hopefully we could kind of push on in the second half now. But more of the same would be excellent. As I said, we've restricted Dnipro to very limited clear-cut chances. You see the one chance they had, Kalinic off the post. We haven't managed to kind of get forward that much just yet. And as Dnipro have the ball here, Zozulia, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, Luis Antonio on the ball. Can we make a tackle? We can't. Gamma to Galvan. They're playing it around nicely. You can see we've got numbers back there. Kavanagh does well to win the ball back. Can we counter now? Will Keane cannot get possession there, and it will find its way back to Dnipro, and they'll come back at us, looking to heat up the pressure early on in this second half as they bring the ball forward. Kalinic, the former Blackburn man, hits the post once again. Second time he's hit the post in this game, and the highlight may not be over as they come forward again. They're really applying the pressure on us, but we could break. We've got the options on the break with the likes of Callum Wilson. I mentioned Riviere before the game. You know, kind of players who can give us that outlet. But at the moment, our passing is just not there, and Dnipro come forward again, but we defend it well. Simon Francis has done really well for us actually this season. Of course, was kind of one of our main players in the Championship, and I'm pleased that he's been able to feature a lot for us in the Premier League, and also done quite well in Europe. But there's half an hour left, still 0-0. I'm probably going to make to look some changes now. Riviere's not doing great out there in terms of his fitness. So I'll bring on Brian Oviedo. Also forget to mention about Jimenez and Arter. They're on their way back to full fitness. Harry Arter in particular is a really pleasing. Will be a really, what am I even saying? It'll be really pleasing to have him back in the team. Of course, a big part of our team in the Championship last season, done alright this season until we got injured, but we've made that change. Brian Oviedo will play in a more advanced role. Of course, the left back can play at left wing, so I'm comfortable with putting him there. 20 minutes to go, and we may have a chance ourselves here. I haven't seen any clear-cut chances so far from us, but could we snatch a goal here? Francis on the ball, plays it to Andrew Sermon. He lays it off to Ole Christian. Can he find the pass? He plays it back to Sermon, but we're keeping the ball nicely here, just patiently trying to find a gap in that Dnipro defence. Simon Francis advanced the right back. He's got the ball back. Can he whip in a ball? He will look to play it to Matt Ritchie, and Matt Ritchie hits the post. The third time in this game that the woodwork has been hit. Of course, Dnipro hitting the post twice, and now we have hit the post. So both sides have come really close. Boric having a really good game in goal for us. But with about 10 minutes left to go in the game, it looks like this one may be heading towards a stalemate. So it will be all to play at the goal stands, and I actually will bring you that second leg in a separate episode. Of course, in some of the two-legged ties I've brought in one episode, but I will separate it this time. But full-time whistle, it does look like it's about to go. It does go, and we're both in white kits, which is a bit strange. But anyway, 0-0 in this first leg tie against Dnipro, which is a very good result. Obviously, it will be risky if Dnipro can snatch an away goal, but very defensively solid, and hopefully we can assert our dominance at home against Dnipro. But I'll leave it here for now. Again, as I said, I'll bring you that second leg, which is after the Chelsea game, which we've got coming up next. But it's been the half bag, and I'll see you guys in a bit.